Welcome back to the Duo's Corner and happy Halloween, where stories come alive, ideas ignite, and every opinion matters. I am DJ, your warehouse philosopher, breaking down stories like they just dropped on streaming. And Ruby, as always, is putting these wonderful, beautiful scripts together while we work and collab and give you the best possible information from our mind space. This is the Duo's Corner, and let's get to it. So as I said ago, happy Halloween, everybody. So what the fuck are we talking about today? Oh, we're talking about Monster, the Ed Gein Story. Netflix's latest season in the monster anthology, diving into Wisconsin's most infamous grave robber. It dropped October 3rd, 2025. 8 eerie episodes peeling back the isolation, obsession, and the twisted birth of horror as we know it. The tagline just said it best. Monsters aren't born, they are made. And this show is trying to show us exactly how. Who are the key players and performances that stole the show on this fucking shit fest, scary, psychological fucking thrill ride? Now, again, I'm horrible with names. I'm going to butcher them, so I'm pretty sure you'll let me know in the comments. We have Charlie Hunnam takes the place as Ed Gein in the story with a restrained, haunting performance. Laurie Metcalf, a.k.a. Jackie from Roseanne, fucking crushes it as Augusta Gein, his God-fearing mother. And Tom Hollander as Albert Hitchcock steals every fucking frame he's in. Ryan Murphy still producing, but this season is less America Horror Story and more Silence of the Lambs. It's a psychological realism over gore, which is always more scarier than anything. Some of the critics was talking a little shit. They said Charlie undersells the madness, others calls it his best work. But everyone agrees, Metcalf, she was fucking terrifying. Now let's get to why we're really here. Okay, let's get into the story and what it's really about. On the surface, Ed's crimes. Underneath us, humanity's fascination with darkness. Why are we so obsessed with it? The show drops us a very central question. Why the fuck do we watch stuff like this? And answers it in one of the most smartest moments. The Alfred Hitchcock scene, for sure. That did it for me. It was the premiere of the famous Psycho. Now, right at the scene, the bad thing, the audience scream, they throw up, they run, they cry, they're terrified, petrified. And Hitchcock's wife's looking like, oh, dude, this is over. We're done. Ain't nobody gonna go see this. And then he said something that sticks to me to this day. He says, and I quote, they don't come for the murder. No, they came for the mirror. That thesis, we don't watch horror for the blood. We watch it for the reflection. And the series shows how that mirror was built. Now enter his mom, Augusta, Ed's mother. Her faith was fused with fury. She preached that women are sin, that isolation is salvation. Ed didn't inherit her madness. He was molded and he was fucking shaped by it. He was raised into fear, affection. So when he meets a woman that shows him compassion, the show's girlfriend character, it's heartbreaking. He doesn't know how to accept the tenderness without some form of punishment. She becomes a mirror too, showing the fracture between desire and indoctrination. Ed's not obsessed with death. He's not. He's confused by life. Intimacy, softness, that's where the horror starts to percolate. So we ask, how is a reclusive farm boy become the blueprint to cinematic horror? How? The answer is layered. Neglect, manipulation, abandonment. He didn't just build monsters out of skin, he built them out of trauma. And then that Hitchcock quote really just nails it. We're not watching him, we're watching what created him. The mirror isn't in the theater, it's in the childhood. Now, before we step into Ed's mind and embrace yourself, it's a motherfucker, we have to talk about the moment everything just broke down. Augustus' decline and the death. Now, after Henry's suspicious death, the mom suffers a stroke. Ed cares for her. He loves her. He's bathing her. He's cleaning her, feeding her, seeing parts of his mother he thought he never would. She dies December 1945. The loss devastates him. He preserves her room as a shrine while the rest of the house decays. The show gets it right. Grief curdled into ritual. From here, his behaviors escalate. Late night cemetery visits, opening recent graves of women who looked like his mother, taking items, sometimes taking remains, home to rebuild what he's lost. He couldn't just let her go. He tried to basically unbury his grief and call it love. Now, after I get that, now we can jump into his mind. And I'm telling you, hold on to your fucking seats. Because I didn't know too much about this man. I heard the name, but I didn't know where his mind was. Okay, let's brace ourselves. Ed's mind. The real horror isn't just about what he did, it's what's happening inside. The show doesn't excuse him, it explores the why. Ed wasn't just evil, he was lost. He was untreated in psychosis, schizophrenia, maybe even a touch of bipolar. He heard voices. He saw his mother's ghost. He blurred faith with delusion. His farmhouse was both a church and a tomb. That confusion between love and death drove him even further into the abyss. Then comes identity distortion. Now, he didn't want to be a woman. He wanted to be his mother. That's the psychosis. It's not gender identity. The infamous suits he built wasn't expressions of translation. They were symptoms of collapse. He was trying to reconstruct her presence, not himself. So when people blur that line, it's unfair to both parties. This wasn't identity. It was delusion shaped by religion and repression. And that's the tragic part. Netflix shows it. Him praying to empty chairs, dressing mannequins in her clothes is not glamorized. It's grief turned grotesque. And that's the real monster. Untreated illness in isolation, in my opinion. Now, before the murders, we have to talk about his rituals, the grave robbing. That's where the delusion takes a physical form. The show makes it clear that this wasn't just sickness and nastiness and horribleness, it was his devotion. He was trying to undo death to bring her back. He dug up women who resembled her build, her features. He was trying to recreate her image, even from pieces. Every act was an attempt to resurrect that control that he needed. His house became a museum of denial. Each grave he opened was a psalm of grief. Then here comes the girlfriend, the one who treated him like he mattered, but her kindness was complicated. She was fascinated by him, by death. She saw beauty in brokenness. Through her, he meets the German woman, the survivor of the intellectual embodiment of cruelty. She teaches him purity through pain, weaponizes his suffering into belief. It's haunting when you think about it. She's an ideology. She tells him that his darkness is divine, that he's cleansing corruption. And the girlfriend, caught in between curiosity and care, becomes that anchor, that bridge, if you will. The one who awakens the monster, believing she's saving the man. Three women, one psyche. The mother, the tyrant. The girlfriend, the emotional mirror. The German woman, the ideological corrupter. Together they shape him, mother, lover, and mentor, all preaching the gospel of control. And that's why grave robbing matters. It's not chaos, it's a ritual. The fusion between faith, intellect, and grief. Now it's time to step into these crimes themselves. Monster shows them, but not for a spectacle, not for a shock value, but for a consequence. His first murder, his brother, Henry, the one who challenges Mom Dukes. Found after a fire, what seemed to be a suspicious head trauma, Ed reports Henry's missing. Dan leads the police to the body, not confusion. At this moment, he learns to hide horror, to act sane while burying his sin. Found that very fascinating. Next up, Bernice and then Mary, both strong, independent women that mirrored his mother's defiance. He was drawn to them, representing what terrified him. As usual, he destroys it. The show avoids the gore. They want to show you his ritual in the aftermath. Silence is heavier than blood. His mother said women are sin. He tried to carve them into silence. And then there was a haunting conversation with a trans woman. She says, "You're not trying to become someone else, Ed. You're trying to escape yourself." And at that moment, he almost sees the truth and he flinches. It glitches him. But instead of realizing it, accepting it, he retreats further. That's when you realize monsters aren't afraid of death. They're afraid of healing. Where this show hits and misses. The moral mirror theme, perfection. The moody, claustrophobic environment, 100%. Jackie, Laura Metcalf, powerful performance, absolutely boss. Where it misses a little bit is the pacing issues mid-season. Kind of got a little mundane. Some of the factual liberties they taken with the girlfriend and the German woman's influence. And the ethical tightrope between empathy and exploration. It's gripping. It's not gospel, but treat it like a psychological fiction, but not a documentary. Because you can actually go researching and things are drastically different. Why it matters, and why should you care? At its core, this story is about repression. Silence breeds monsters. Ed's life is a warning. When pain goes unprocessed, it becomes dangerous. He's not a legend. He's a lesson. And the horror is our therapy. We turn nightmares into stories so we can survive them. And that is my take on the Ed Gein story. This was really interesting. And how it just marketed so many of the Texas Chainsaw Massacres, Psycho, a lot of the Albert Hitchcock stories that he came up with. This was just really gripping. I will give a cautionary tale when watching it. Be careful. It's really deep. There's really scenes that are really just uncomfortable. But again, we don't watch for the horror. We watch for the mirror. This is DJ at the Duo's Corner, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, happy Halloween. And I will definitely see you in the next one.